Hello, hello, hello. It's Anita Haines here in my Stamp with Anita Facebook group. Tonight, I am going to be sharing this card. Super cute. I think we're just going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be featuring actually an online exclusive bundle that's not in the catalog, but it's exclusively online. Let me go ahead and flip my camera down to my table and we will get started. Here's the card, super cute. Lots of fun going on here, and I can't wait to share it with you. It's so beautiful. I actually made it originally really simple, and I'll share that, and then added to it, which is still simple, but just gave it a little bit more layers. I think you can see that. So let's get started. Here's my packet. I'm gonna pull everything out of here. I've got it in a white envelope. And so I've got the base of my card is our thick white cardstock that it's an 8.5 by 11 that I cut in half at 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4, and then we're just going to simply fold it in half. It's already scored, but I love using the bone folder just to give it that nice crisp fold. Here's my base, very simple. This piece is actually cut a little smaller than my typical layer. I've got a 1/2 inch border around it. So I cut this one at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I ran it through a Starburst folder right here. It's so cool. It's actually got, I don't know if you can see that, it's actually got little stars in there, which is why it's called Starburst. But from a distance, and when you run it through, it almost looks like flowers. So it works really well for a lot of projects. First off, I'm just gonna simply put my readers on so I can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna take some glue. I'm still out of adhesive here. My Stampin' Seal, which I love. And it's just gonna get layered directly in the center. So I've got, like I said, about a 1/2 inch border all the way around. There you go. Very simple. And then these pieces, these are a 1/2 inch by 4 inches strips that I cut of DSP. And we're gonna go ahead and glue those down. I think I'm gonna start with this one. Just gonna put some of this glue on the back. This stuff, man, it's not very forgiving when it gets all over you. It gets all over you. So I'm gonna put this one over here on this edge, right about there. I've kind of got it centered from top to bottom. And then I'm gonna take the pink one. You could actually use either side of this. It's really pretty. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I wanna use that side. Ooh, I don't know. We're just going to go with this one. And then this one, I'm going to stagger it. I'm going to make it go up a little higher. Like so. And then this piece, this is two-sided too. These are both the same. So I'm going to decide which one I think would look better as the last piece. It looks like it's probably not really going to matter a whole lot. I might do this one. And again, I'm just going to kind of stagger it a little bit. This one's going to go down further. And then this last piece, we're going to attach it. All right. This one I'm going to kind of put in between here. These don't have to be perfect, seriously. I'm kind of looking at the card I made to kind of gauge where I want them, but it really wouldn't matter. So there we have it. We have those down. This is a design layout you could really use for any card that you're doing. Then I'm going to take this. This is actually from, let me pull it out here. These dies, which are the Spotlight on Nature dies. And you could just do a hole punch. You know, it's like, I want to say it's like 2 1/4 inches. And that could vary depending on, you know, what you're doing. But you could do a hole punch. You could do our stitch shapes, which just has a like a stitching on the back or on the edges. But this I love because let me show you all the different circles that you get with this. I just love it. So I took this one here that has those little lines, but look at those. So fun. You know, if you're looking for something different, you've got hole punches or you have the stitch dies and you want something that's just going to kind of jazz things up, then I suggest this Spotlight on Nature's Dies. And you'll find that in the main catalog. So I cut that out of, Summer Splash. I always get those mixed up. Summer Splash. And I took the colors right out of here, ladies, just right out of the DSP. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use dimensionals, which I had out over here. Here we go. I'm going to use some dimensionals and I'm just going to go ahead and pop this baby up. Pull those off. Just the little backings. And then this, it's kind of just centered, maybe a little below center. You could really play with it depending on what you're doing, how you want to position it. But I think I like it right there, which is pretty much almost right in the middle. Okay, so I've got that, and then we're going to add the fun. We're going to do some stamping. I'm going to pull this in, and we are going to pull in 2 ink colors, Melon Mambo, which has been with us for a long time. I love this color. So fun coming into spring and summer especially. And then this Summer Splash, speaking of summer, I love this. This is a new one of our newest in colors, which I can tell it's new because it's a lot tighter to open. So I've got these 2 ink pads over here. And then I've got this. This is just a piece of our white cardstock. Stamp set I'm using, again, I mentioned this is an online exclusive stamp set. Sorry for that glare. Everyday You and Me, and I absolutely love this. Again, I talked yesterday about a stamp set. I love the combination. This one's got just a good mixture. And then these florals. It also has a coordinating die, and I'm going to pull these out. We're going to be using these 2, so I'm going to pull out the dies for that. So that one, this one, we're also going to be pulling out the leaves, and I think that's it for this. So let's put that away so I don't lose these. But I love this, and this also coordinates with a scrapbooking kit that we have. Totally different colors than what I'm using here. And if I get a chance at the end, I'll pull that out for you. But anyway, there's the stamp set that we're using. Again, online exclusive. So if you go online, which most of you shop online on my store, you can find that. It might be listed actually under online exclusives when you go shopping. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp this straight down on there. I've got a really good image. And then I'm going to stamp the other one. Where's it at? Here it is. The smaller one. And then this one I'm actually going to stamp off before I stamp it down because I want it to just be a little bit lighter. So it's almost getting 2 colors in one when you do that. And of course, look at that, ladies. I already got ink on me. Can you believe it? Oh, okay. I'm trying to find my, I don't know where my wipes are, but I got a tissue here. That didn't take long. What I'm going to do also, if I were just going to do those one layer, that's fine. But I'm going to be making it so that we're going to be layering it and adding a little bit more. So I need 1 more of that one, and I need 1 more of this one. And that'll make sense here in a minute. So let me set those aside, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pull down my chamois and clean that off. So hopefully I don't get any more ink on me. And while I have the ink out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a few other things. Let's go ahead and stamp my leaves. I realized I forgot to put a piece of scrap over here for my leaves, so let me grab a piece of scrap right here. And this again is with the Summer Splash. And I just need one of each of these. So we're gonna, let me ink that up again. I got 1 and 2. So there we go. And I am going to go ahead and clean those. Pretty leaves. All right, I'm just gonna set these out of the way. All right, so the next what I'm gonna do, and I didn't do this ahead of time, probably should have. I'm using my little mini stamp and emboss machine, and I'm gonna just run these through really quick. I'm gonna pull this camera up so you can see this a little bit better here. So I've got my dies, I've got my plates, I've got a base, which is great because it's simple instructions here, 1 and 2. So, and then I've got the cutting plate. And then I'm simply going to put in my stamped images, and I'm going to take my dies, and then I'm going to use, I think I shared this with you before, this Post-it note tape, which I absolutely love. Makes it so much easier when you're using these dies, unless you have a magnetic plate, but we don't even have that for this mini one. So I'm gonna, okay, this is the trickiest part. Finding, there we go, we got it. Sometimes just turning the die till you find where it goes. And I'm sticking that tape right on there. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one here. I think it's going to be this way. Yep. So I've got it turned. And this tape is great just because it is really just like that. Taking my finger off of it can make it move, or when you set the plates down on top, it can move easily. So I'm just going to run those through really quick. It's probably going to shake. And I pull those out. And so we've got paper falling all over the place over here. I've got this one. I'm going to set that aside. And I've got this one. Set that one aside. I'm going to keep this tape because you can use this tape numerous times, which is kind of nice. The rest of this I'm not going to run through. I'm going to actually hand cut those out. I just need to go ahead and run through my little leaves. Same thing with the leaves. I'm just going to line it up on there. Again, the tape makes it so, oops. Don't move it before you actually get the tape on there. And then the same with this one. Line it up. You could obviously fussy cut these, which is just, you know, hand cutting, but who wants to do that when you've got these awesome dies that cut it out perfectly? I do like the mini. Usually I cut all this stuff across my studio. I have a station where I have my stamp and cut and emboss machine. But this little mini, I absolutely love having here at my table. And it's easy, it's portable, and honestly, 90% of the dies, I think it is, you can run through that. They're sized so that you can do that. So that makes it nice too. So I'm going to take those off of there so I don't accidentally throw them away. Ask me how I know that. Okay, got that out of the way. So I've got these pieces. And then what I'm left with are these pieces. And what I'm going to do with these, if you look at this, you can see there's the outside, and then there's kind of like a circle inside, and then a tiny one on the even further in. So what I'm going to do is take the scissors and just cut kind of around where I think that next layer would be. Hopefully I'm in the camera here. Cut that off. Make it a little easier. And so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of cutting around there. If I had a lot of these to do, I would probably just, like when I'm doing a big swap or something, I would just sit on the couch watching TV and cut away. So there's that. And then on this one, I'm going to go to the innermost circle and do the same thing. But I know there's some of you out there, some of my customers and friends, that don't want to have anything to do with fussy cutting. So honestly, this card, I'll show you because we're going to make it, and you'll see it with just the initial flowers on here. It's just super cute as that, you know, just as it is. But if you want to just step it up a bit and add more dimension, then this is a great option to do. And I don't know why I stamped 2 more of these. I only needed 1 more because it's tiny. So we'll use the best one. And then I actually have this left. I could do that for when I actually have my class on Friday. What I'm going to do with these is, and again, I could just put these down just flat. If you want to keep it simple, this could go here. I could glue this down here. This would go here, and this other one would go right here. And that in and of itself is super cute, trust me. But if you want to step it up, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like take my bone folder here and just kind of curve this. If you don't have a bone folder, you could use the edges of a scissors or a pencil, anything that's just kind of curling the paper a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's just kind of curled up a little bit just on the edges. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Curl it up a little bit. I'm probably going to be a little more aggressive with these center pieces. A couple years ago, I made this whole thing of 3D succulents, which were super cute. And then same thing with this one. And then another pointer I can share with you on how to do this. If we have one of our foam pads that we have, and you take a, oh, let me find my stylus. So this stylus, you can take and put it down on a piece of foam, and then you kind of roll. And I don't know if you can see that, but as I'm rolling it, it's turning and curling up on its own. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's definitely cupped now. And that makes it really easy. So I can do that to this. Works really good on the little tiny pieces. Like that little center one. This one, I think I need to break the fiber a little bit. Curling that up. Again, this is an optional step, but it gives you a way to add some dimension. This one really wants to curl up when I do that. And it's a process because you're breaking the fibers of the paper, and the way you're doing it on the foam, it just kind of cups it. So those are done. Little pieces. And then for the leaves, let me get that out of the way. These I think I'm just gonna like curl like this. You could totally just put these down straight. I should have made a card that was like that so I could show the difference. But so there I've got my pieces and parts, and I'm going to go ahead and put these together. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my glue dots. Here we go. And I'm going to take, we'll start with this big one. Pull this back. I'm going to stick these on here. Stick this one on here, and this one, I'm trying to see if I did use, I think I did a little bit, dimensionals, but oops, if you wanted them to be even further apart, you could use dimensionals, but I think I just used glue dots for the most part. All right, so I'm gonna set that down hopefully without it. This one and this one I'm going to attach, and I'm actually going to try to line it up where it actually is, you know, the image of the flower, like that. So there you have it. And then this one looks like it goes right about here. So there's my flower. I don't know if you can really tell by the in the camera. I think you can tell there. See how it's dimensional? So I've got that one done. And then the other one, again, it's going to go on here. Somehow, which way did I have that? Oh, this way. There we have it. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach them onto here. So depending on how I want this on here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimensional on the outside here because this is already popped up on a dimensional, and then I'll use a glue dot for the rest of it. Let's go ahead and get a glue dot on here. Let's see, which way do I want this? Does it matter? I don't think so. So we're going to stick this about, looks about right, like that. And then I'm going to stick this glue, or this dimensional down under here so it stays popped up on that edge there. There we go. So there's that. And then the little pink one, I already have a glue dot on there. And we're going to attach it right about there. Oops. I think my glue dot kind of wore off. So let's get a... I had it in my hand too long. Probably the oils from my hand. Right about there. And then our leaves, I'm just going to simply, again, just use a glue dot. And this one's going to stick out from under here. Let's do it about like so. Again, there's no perfect way to put these on. However you want to do them. This one I'm going to have come out, let's see, from under here, going up there. And then what you could do is then take a couple dimensionals. I use every bit of my dimensional sheets. So cut some of these little edges like this. And I'm going to take a couple of these and stick under the edges of the leaf so we don't lose those. So maybe about there. And then the same with this one. Right about there. Ah, look at that. So cute. I have an alert coming up on my phone. There we go. And then last, well, actually not last, almost last. Next, I have a little strip of paper. This is like, I want to say 1/2 inch by like 2 1/4. And we are going to stamp happy birthday on there. And this set that I'm using, the words are really big. It's really, it's great for cards, but it's also great for scrapbooking. So the words are really nice and large. But I decided to use this set. I'm using the happy birthday out of here to stamp. And I'm going to pull back my Melon Mambo. And I think I got that upside down. Yeah, let's make sure we stamp it right side up. There we go. Perfect. Let me clean this off. So if I set these down and not clean them off, I'll end up with that all over me. All right, and then with this, I'm going to take it and stick it. Add some adhesive. Could probably use a glue dot too, or even a dimensional if you wanted to pop it up. But I'm just going to take it and slide it down under here. Oops. That's why it's nice to be the glue. But on that edge there that it hangs over, actually I'm going to push it up a little bit. That's a nice thing about the liquid glue. You can move around a little bit. And then on that edge there, I will use a dimensional to hold that in place. I'll take a dimensional. Sometimes if you have a hard time getting a dimensional on, I'll stick it onto my snips, my paper snips, and then just slide it right down underneath there. There you go. Oh, super cute. All right, and then we can add some bling. And I love these. Self-adhesive, but just really fun colors. The white, all these are kind of iridescent. You could use that on any card, but these are really nice colors. I think I'll stick with what I used on the other card, or maybe I'll switch it up. Let's see. Last time I used these, the darker ones. So I think I might use the pink this time. Why not, right? There's 2 different sizes of each color, so I'm going to stick one there. You could even mix them. And then let's do one right up here. Oh my goodness, ladies, it's so pretty. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I love it. So we're going to pull that down. And I'm going to use the Summer Splash. Ink that up. Let's just stamp that straight into the center there. And then, because we can, let's pull this Melon Mambo back in. And I think I'll take the little flower and we're going to stamp it twice, maybe even 3 times. Okay, and then, last but not least, was the envelope. What did I do with it? Here's the envelope. I can't have naked envelope, right, ladies? So we'll do a big one on here. Like so. And I'm going to actually stamp this off. That's so pretty. And then you could even, on the back here, do a little flower. And you could even add the leaf. You could add these onto the front too if you wanted to. Flip this one this way. There you have it. So pretty. So let me close these up. Here you go. Get all this out of the way. And here's what we're left with. This beautiful card. I love it. Again, it would even be quicker if you just stamp those and laid them down. But I think that's kind of fun to have that. Here's the other one. Same exact card, except I even did these in the same pattern. This one I used the pink and this one I used the purple. So you can see a little bit of a difference in there. There's the card. I love it. That is so fun. Okay, so let me flip my camera around. We'll see who's here. All right. Quick and easy, and such a pretty card. I just love this. Oh, wild hair. Woo! Isn't that cute? Who wouldn't want that for a birthday card? And this, like I said, you could do anything. I've got, you know, this layout. I can't remember. I saw it online. Someone did something similar, and I don't even remember what they had on theirs. But I just love the idea of the strip paper. Great way to use up scraps that you might have. And this could be any message. This could be for a little kid and you could have a dinosaur there. I actually did a card layout just like this for a baby shower that I think I posted it a few days ago. Same exact layout, but total, and I used the same stamp set, but I used the colors that she had for her little baby girl blankets. So it's really pretty, a little different. Let me go ahead and pull out, hold on. I'm gonna pull out the coordinating scrapbook kit. If you haven't seen these are amazing. Absolutely love. Oh, I have comments on here. Let me put my readers on. I do see there are people on here. Hello, ladies. Hi, Pauline. Oh, thank you. I love the layers too. I really do. Thank you for hopping on. But these scrapbooking kits have been so fun. And I think I actually did. I actually put this one together on my girlfriend's weekend. It doesn't come with the set, with the stamp set. The stamp set and die you can buy separately, but it coordinates with this. So since I'm on here, I might as well show it to you. I love it because it comes with the step-by-step instructions on how to do this. I should have just left my, you know what? Let's try this. I'm gonna go ahead and flip you back down because I really wanna show you how cool this is since I'm showing this stamp set. Okay, I need to slide you over, it looks like. this comes with this step-by-step instructions for what to do. So it comes with all the sheets of cardstock. So this was a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. This is the front, this is the back, and it tells you exactly how to cut it. And then it has little codes as to which page it goes to. And you'll see that here as I go. So those are all the pages on how to cut it. And a helpful hint is to put those little numbers on, like with Post-it notes. This is a page layout. And then it tells you the little codes of which piece goes where on here. Sounds complicated, but once you do one, it makes it really, really easy. So let me show you the actual pages that I did on this. You can also buy coordinating cardstock DSP that coordinates with it. And then I'm trying to think, and extra sticker sheets. Let me move all this stuff out of the way here. So I'm hoping I can get this 2-page spread in here for you. So let me pull this up. There. Hopefully that's in the camera. I'm trying to look at my laptop to see, or if you can see that. But it's 2-page spread. And the kit actually comes with what's called placeholders. Let me see if I can find them. They're in here. This is all the pieces and parts I have left over. So it comes with photo placeholders, which is kind of nice. So here's a photo placeholder. So this, well, there's not a 3x3 on this one, but like this one would be right here. So you could put it on there so you can get an idea. This is nice if you don't have the photos printed out yet or ready. But this had dies that that I had a whole, look at all that's left over from this. And there's a bunch of cardstock in here that I cut that's left over. And I even did extra pages separate from the kit. So there's this page. Super cute. And that's a 2-page spread. Then I think I have these in order. Here's another one. And I might have changed this out a little bit. Maybe it goes this way. I'm not really sure. But it doesn't really matter. It could go either way. It's just that these 2 pages coordinate with each other. But look at those fun colors and layouts. I just love it. So the photos, you would have a big photo here. Like if you had this fits like a 5x7. This is like the little 3x3s and little 3x3s here. So this is kind of a nice layout because you can get multiple photos on here. Okay, and then this page is another one. It could go this way or it could go this way. I love it. So another big photo. This one would be 2 photos that you would put here, and this one would either be 2 smaller photos or a large one. So either way, this one would be for a big 5x7. And this is a spot for journaling. I just love it. And this is more of the sticker sheets that I have left over. That's just the item number right there. So these aren't in the current catalog. I think starting the next catalog, they're going to have all these kits in there. But right now, it's basically online exclusives, which is why that stamp set was an online exclusive. But I just absolutely love those. And then, like I said, you can get coordinating cardstock. I don't know if I have that. Pull that up to show you because that's going to... You can get the sticker sheets by themselves. This actually might be good to show you because you can see, I'm going to open this up real quick. You can see these are all the stickers that were used on the scrapbook pages. I'm going to take it out of this film. But look how fun those stickers are. And this color, lady, this funky color here, which I wasn't sure about, but I absolutely love it with this, is Wild Wheat. And it's actually one of the in-color colors that's going to be retiring this year. If you love that color, you're going to want to snag that up. But I love that. And then the DSP, you can order this, again, separate. You get DSP and the two-tone paper in your kit, like to make those scrapbook pages. But then you can order extra, which is kind of nice. So, again, just beautiful. Ah, just gorgeous. Look at this. So it's that same stamp set that we just played with, but look at those colors. I love it. Isn't that fun? And this could be feminine or masculine, either way. The colors work really well for both. And these colors are really popular right now. When I went to a baby shower and I went out to buy some little blankets and things like that, these were like some of the popular colors that were out right now. So Stampin' Up! Is always right on trend. So there you have it. Let me go ahead and flip you back around as we took that little side trip there. But I wanted to take that opportunity just to share how beautiful these kits are. And so if you're a scrapbooker, these are really fun. Thanks for popping in and watching me create this card. Such a fun card. This has been fun. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. I've got to hop off because I've got another event, a Zoom at 8 o'clock. So I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.